Hi, I'm Avery Davidson.
And I'm Kristen Oakes White. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week. Well, as we're taping this show, the Mississippi River has been at or above flood stage for nearly 200 days. That smashes the record set during the Great Flood of 1927, which prompted the creation of the federal levee system.
That system has been tested a lot here lately. This most recent tropical system, which as we tape this, is projected to put the river a foot below the top of the levee in New Orleans. Meanwhile, already more than 8 inches of rain ahead of the storm flooded the streets in the Crescent City. This is near Canal Street, where we held our most recent Farm Bureau convention. Localized street flooding took its toll on both traffic and on property.
For some farmers in the state, they had just gotten backwater flooding off their lands, and this tropical moisture is not helping. The rainfall has also damaged or delayed hay cutting in particular. All eyes are still on the Mississippi, which is expected to remain in flood stage well into August and the heart of hurricane season. August is also peak harvest season for many crops in Louisiana. Damaged or flooded facilities downriver could cause serious problems at that time. It's definitely something that we're going to keep an eye on and keep you posted as the news changes with that. Well, let's move on to sustainability. It's a popular idea in 2019, and according to a recent Nielsen study, 81% of consumers feel strongly that companies should help improve the environment.
As stewards of the land, farmers want their land to be sustainable for generations to come. This week, Twila's Carl Wiggers takes us to meet a fourth-generation farmer in Tensas Parish who is pulling back the curtain to show consumers how he cares for his land.
Cotton like this will someday be made into the blue jeans that Tensas farmer Kellen Lee is wearing. But before it's white and fluffy, it starts here in what's called a square. Kellen and his wife Rachel are checking the cotton crop near their home at Lake Bruin. They are working together on a project that shows how they are implementing sustainable farm practices right here. It's a project Rachel works on with the NRCS and the Louisiana Cotton Sustainability Pilot Project. She helps farmers be more sustainable with this field-to-market tool.
We're trying to put the pen to the paper to show an environmental footprint of these fields and show that what we're doing is right and we are protecting the land and the environment and the world around us.
Lee says this tool helps farmers like her husband see how different practices will impact their farm before they put that practice in place.
It's a free tool that they can use to test conservation practices to see how that impacts their farm before they actually spend the time and money implementing those practices.
For Kellen, those conservation efforts look like erosion control structures like this. No-till crops leaving this residue from previous years to improve the soil's health, and the use of cover crops in the off-season. For him, taking care of this field is not just about the financial benefit it brings, but he says it's his responsibility.
A farm like this one here, all of this drainage goes into Lake Bruin, which is where our water, our drinking water comes from. So that is very important to us, it's very important to the community, and to make sure that we're maintaining our soil and our soil loss.
We are feeding and clothing the world, and we want to do that in a environmentally friendly way, and so we're trying our best to be transparent to consumers, brands, and retailers.
Cotton's renewable, it's natural, it's coming from the soil, it's made from plants, whereas other products may not be. So it's very important to them as it is for us who live here. It's important for someone in the city that's buying these products.
We're doing our best to be as sustainable as we can because we want to be able to leave this ground and to leave those ranches for future generations.
The Louisiana Cotton Sustainability Pilot Project is part of the U.S. Cotton Trust Protocol, a program designed to build consumer trust in U.S. cotton. And if you're a cotton farmer and would like to implement this program and use these tools on your farm, you can learn more about that at our website, twilatv.org. And you guys, this is one of the really cool stories to go shoot. I love cotton, but it's also neat to see it's a perfect duo. She works on the program and he farms the cotton that the program is focused on. So it was really neat to see them work together on this.
And for you, that had to be kind of personal, especially for cotton, because your father grew cotton for so long when you were growing up, and you're still trying to talk him into grow some cotton again.
Doing the best I can. I'm partial. I love the crop, especially when it's in this state. It's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful crops, and there's something about the smell. But, another thing I wanted to point out, this isn't something new.
Right.
To, you know, my family, whenever we were growing cotton, we're doing a lot of these same practices, the minimal till, you know, the cover crops. That's not anything new, but now they're documenting it to show the consumer, the customers, that they're doing this in a very sustainable way, and it's really cool to see that.
It really shows that farmers, the original stewards of the land and the original environmentalists. Thank you so much, Carl Wiggers. Well, Kristen, now I turn my attention to you and the holiday that just passed. Did you have a good 4th of July?
I did. We did the stereotypical grilling hot dogs, hamburgers, by the pool, so nothing out of the ordinary.
I hear all of that except for the part where you invited me over. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Well, the 4th of July holiday is behind us, but many of us, especially like me, we're reluctant to put away the grill.
Oh, why? And as Neil Melanson tells us, prices at the grocery store are helping keep that summer tradition alive.
The 4th of July means a lot of people like to head outside for the fireworks, but some of us like to think about heading here. Calandro's grocery store in Baton Rouge, like many across the U.S., saw a big boost in people looking for their summer cookout favorites. Manager Blaise Calandro says from this time last year, prices have remained fairly stable.
Grocery, on the whole, we haven't seen a lot. We haven't been doing a lot of repricing of products. Everything's been fairly stable.
Those flat prices are backed up by a national survey from the American Farm Bureau, which looked at 13 items for a meal for 10 people. The amount came to $52.80, up less than 0.25% from a year ago. That amounts to $5.28 per person. In the survey, 5 of the items were up in price, 5 down, and 3 showing no change. In the meat department, ground round for hamburgers on the grill was up 3% from last year. On the other hand, pork spare ribs were down 2% from last year, but hot dog prices have gone up 3% from summer 2018. Meanwhile, hot dog buns showed no change from a year ago. Hamburger buns were up slightly, and American cheese for that grill was the biggest mover downwards at 3% off. Whatever grill items you want, the best, of course, are from Louisiana.
Just right here, we have Hofstad Farms tomatoes that are right from Kentwood, Louisiana. They have some hothouse stuff that's available throughout the year, and we can get good, fresh, local stuff that way.
Something new on the survey was a look at grocery delivery, which has taken off nationwide. This year's survey for those same 13 items was right at $70, about 38% more than buying it at the grocery store. Calandro says his store is holding off for now, but it is something they're considering. Of course, there were more items on the survey, and for a complete listing, you can visit our website at twilatv.org. And guys, one thing that I was really happy to see with this survey and with these prices is that we're seeing a more normal situation with the meat market. Beef is up, but you saw the pork ribs are down. So when supply and demand is working for a change, and after a few years there where it was just weird with the beef herd being down and the pork herd being down, it was just kind of strange, but it's good to see it back to normal and working for consumers.
Well, hot dogs are cheaper, but I didn't see Traeger pellets on that list.
No, I bet you didn't. And you know who else didn't invite us over? Carl Wiggers has a Traeger grill, and he didn't invite us over either.
What did y'all do for the 4th of July that you didn't invite us over?
Well, unless you wanted to be in a couple of inflatable swimming pools with a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, hey, you're welcome to come. I mean, believe me,
It was any better than mine.
They dragged Daddy and his clothes in.
Sherry smoked wings, so I really wasn't suffering at all.
Ah, okay. Neil Melanson, thanks for bringing us that great story. Well, the Louisiana horse industry brings an estimated $2 billion a year to the state's economy, and that's according to the LSU Ag Center.
It's an industry that continues to attract young people. That's why the organizers of the 50th annual 4-H FFA State Horse Show say the young people involved in the show are not just horsing around. The Lamar Dixon Expo Center in Gonzales, Louisiana is home to many events, but not many have gone on as long as this one. This is the 50th annual Louisiana 4-H FFA State Horse Show.
The Ag Center is really excited to be a part of this and to have produced this and been one of the major sponsors for this event for 50 years. You can't say that about a lot of different events that last that long. So we're really excited about that.
Hilton Waits works for the LSU Ag Center and is the State Horse Show Superintendent. He knows what it takes to put on this event, but he knows even better what raising horses as a student project
does for these young people.
The horse project is very unique. It's a family-oriented project. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of hours in the saddle, it takes a lot of practice, and it's a year-round project. So it's a family affair, and those that are involved in the equine project have a chance to experience that throughout the year.
I enjoy being able to come here with my family and just being able to have the experience to just compete with my horse. And he's really an amazing horse, and this is actually only my second show showing him.
Aubrey Vadrine is from Ville Platte, Louisiana. She's entering the 9th grade, but she's already learning valuable lessons right here in this ring.
I love having more competition because if I don't get first place, it makes me stronger and it makes me more competitive, and it helps me to get better.
In this case, Vadrine won first place. Things went the way she hoped, but Waite says that's not always the case, and that's a good thing.
The unique thing about the horse project is it teaches young people that things don't always go the way you plan for them to. They're working and depending on that animal, or that horse in this case, to help them with a lot of the patterns and the different things that they're doing. And sometimes it doesn't go the way that they practice. So they have to learn that sometimes you have difficulties in life, just like you have in the saddle. And so that's probably one of the most unique things about the horse project, in my opinion, is it teaches young people that when things don't go right, you can't give up. You have to persevere, you have to stay calm and confident and poised and get through it.
Organizer Dwayne Nunez tells me that attendance was down a little bit this year, but that was because some of the dates conflicted with the rodeo circuits. He says next year the horse show will be back to its Tuesday through Friday schedule to avoid that. And Chris, I kind of want to get a feel from you. What is the difference between, say, like an Angus show and a horse show?
Oh, you're asking the wrong person, because I can tell you anything you need to know about a cattle show, but...
So they don't have to prance at cattle show?
From what I know, my friend grew up showing Arabian horses, and I think you ride them as opposed to walk them out there?
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both at the horse show. But what I thought was really cool was they were beautiful animals, and it really, you could tell that these young people take a lot of time caring for them, just like you do whenever you go to most other livestock shows.
Well, that's not really in my wheelhouse or hoof house, I guess.
We need to get her a horse.
That's an Avery joke.
Still to come on Twila, we have a special video to show you what and who the Louisiana Farm Bureau is all about.
But first, we'll see what new things are coming to the Louisiana rice industry. Stay with us.
I now hope they're fighting today.
I hope they are. Put a Dorito on here.
I got a fish! I got a fish!
Find your place in the country and the lender who can get you there. Find Louisiana Land Bank. Financing for country homes, recreational property, farms and ranches, and agribusiness.
Before you sweeten your morning joe, before the icing on the cake, before the sugar hits the shelf, it begins with a family of sugarcane farmers dedicated to growing Louisiana for more than 220 years. The Sugarcane Growers of Louisiana, making life sweeter, naturally.
Sugarcane, sweet sugarcane. Louisiana oysters, salty, sweet, and delicious. But have you ever thought about what happens to all those oyster shells? Most of them end up in trash cans and landfills. The Coalition to Restore Coastal Louisiana is changing this with its oyster shell recycling program, and you can help by visiting these participating restaurants. It's a simple and delicious way to restore our coast. The shells will then be used to sustain and rebuild oyster reefs. Remember, once you shuck them, don't just chuck them.
Farming is my way of life. I chose this career, but farming chose me.
A lot of people ask you what you do, and I tell them I'm a farmer.
I'm a cattleman.
I am a fisherman.
I'm a scientist.
I'm a steward of the land.
I am a farm woman.
I am Farm Bureau.
I am Farm Bureau.
I am Farm Bureau.
I am Farm Bureau.
I'm a Farm Bureau.
It's been a struggle for rice producers in Louisiana this year. Heavy rains flooded fields early in the season and put the crop way behind its normal growing cycle.
LSU Ag Center correspondent Craig Gautreaux has this report from Crowley.
Rice producers got a close-up look at PVL02, a new rice variety that will help overcome weedy red rice, which is becoming increasingly resistant to herbicides. The new Provisia line is an improvement over its predecessor, PVL01, according to Adam Famosa, a rice breeder at the LSU Ag Center H. Rouse Caffey Rice Research Station.
We've observed a pretty consistent 10% yield advantage of this line over PVL01. We see much improved milling with this line over PVL01.
The plan calls for enough seed to be produced this year to plant about 50,000 acres next year. This number is expected to go up the following year. Famosa is confident the new variety will meet expectations.
We feel pretty good about what we see in terms of the potential because it's been tested quite extensively compared to what our normal testing practices are.
Like virtually all agricultural commodities in Louisiana, rice has faced challenges this growing season. It got off to an extremely slow start and simply hasn't been able to catch up. Yields are expected to be down from last year, which was a good crop.
We're not going to break any record yields because of all the trials and tribulations we've had, but we still have a good opportunity for good yields.
Large carryover stocks from last year are pressuring prices downward. One market that could help reduce this carryover is China, but Harold does not expect to see any rice purchases from China soon.
Legally, we can sell rice to China, but due to the trade war, we haven't seen any movement in that area, and until that's settled, we probably won't see any rice purchased from China.
The amount of medium grain rice being grown has increased significantly in Louisiana and is expected to make up approximately 15% of the state's acreage. With the LSU Ag Center, this is Craig Gautreaux reporting.
Louisiana's rice crop is expected to be around 400,000 acres this year, a decrease of more than 15,000 acres from last year. Saturday was the taste of Summerfest at the Ruston Farmers Market. The market is open a couple of times a week, but on June 6th, there was a little something extra, like a dunking booth, cooking demonstrations, and live music.
The Ruston Farmers Market is open every Saturday morning and Tuesday evenings from 4 o'clock to 7 p.m. and it will now be open year-round. Donna Isaacs says the market is as much about the experience as it is about the fresh fruits and vegetables. Now, a lot of the vendors use their own local fruits and veggies to make muffins and other baked goods. And there was also a pie baking contest, and Twila's own Tammy Arender took home a third-place ribbon.
I gotta say something there. I am surprised. Tammy Arender should have got first place because I've tasted a lot of her baked goods, like especially her cheesecakes. Oh my God. Oh my God. They're awesome.
She's really good at baking. That's her second talent.
Not a lot of people know that one. We gotta get that on the show somewhere.
We do, the cookies especially. Well, when we come back, we've got a very special Twila boost for you.
We'll show you how Louisiana Farm Bureau brings together the farm and family. Stay with us.
Landowners are minding the Louisiana forest for our grandchildren. A place for wildlife, recreation, lumber for homes. It's the right thing to do. Forestry, covering half our state, all of our hearts.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
That's low, that's low.
I know we just came back from break, but before we leave you, we have a special edition of our Twila Boost. Earlier this year, in preparation for the 97th Annual Convention of the Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation, we asked several of our Farm Bureau members and volunteer leaders to explain what the organization means to them.
Some said the Farm Bureau is a unified voice for agriculture. Some said the organization offers opportunity and empowerment for members. But the most common and unified response was simple. Farm Bureau is truly a family. So this week we're ending our show with one of the videos we showed during the convention in New Orleans to illustrate how Farm Bureau starts with the farm and ends with the family.
I became involved in Farm Bureau as a youth, probably 6, 7 years old. My father was a county president, mother was on women's committee, followed them throughout the county activities and state convention activities. And I was fortunate enough after college to get involved in the Young Farmer and Rancher program. It really provided a lot of leadership opportunities and a lot of things that old country boy like me wouldn't be exposed to otherwise. The beauty of Farm Bureau is we represent any and all of agriculture within Louisiana. If you're in sugar, in sweet potatoes, you're in rice, the pollinating crops, livestock, aquaculture, crawfish, whatever it might be. I mean, we have a committee for about any and everything, and if not, we'll make one. Farm Bureau family means that all doors are open. Everyone has a common interest, advocating for agriculture in some type of way, shape, or form, and trying to make Louisiana agriculture better.
So many people see Farm Bureau as just an insurance organization. And insurance is a big part of the services that we offer. But what we do for the rural people, the agricultural people, it's amazing. And the more you're involved with it, the more you see how you impact the economy of the agriculture in the state.
Farming is a hard, complicated business, and the regulations and the legislation that comes down to really govern how we operate, it really makes it important that we work hard as a Farm Bureau organization to see that these regulations don't become so burdensome that it makes it hard for our family farmers to continue to exist.
While we are raising a crop, weaning calves, working cattle, or raising our families back home, when we can't be in Baton Rouge and we can't be in Washington, D.C., Farm Bureau's there and they have our back. They're watching out for us and watching out for tomorrow.
The Farm Bureau family, to me, means empowerment. It gives our members a seat at the table on state, local, and federal issues. When our members speak through the Farm Bureau, people listen. It's a powerful thing.
The strength and the influence of Farm Bureau never ceases to amaze me. And all it is folks just like me who talk to each other and live and work on the farm and know what the issues are. And no one knows that better than a Farm Bureau member who actually farms as well.
Farm Bureau is a very valuable tool on our operation. It helps us to network. It's a teaching tool. It helps us learn about other operations. It shows us how we can improve our own operation here at home. We wouldn't have got that without meeting people from other sides of the state, from all walks of life, with all different backgrounds.
It is giving us a voice for the lifestyle that we live. With Ag in a Classroom, I'm able to go visit students in the class and read to them and answer their questions and see them light up at the idea of, hey, there's farmers out there, they're coming to my school and they're gonna teach me about what they do, and that's an exciting part.
It's grown our knowledge in the agriculture world. It's helped our personal beef operation. We're doing cuts of meat now, custom cuts of meat and bulk orders. I feel like without Farm Bureau, we wouldn't have started it, but we wouldn't be where we're at today without it.
We can ask ideas. I can say, what's going on your farm? How are you doing this?
and I can learn from them and they can learn from me. And that's one of the things that I think is most important, is because everybody has value and has things that they know. If I can pull nuggets from you and pull nuggets from you of wisdom and things that I can use, that's where it's at. That's how we grow as people and how we grow as farmers.
The Farm Bureau family means somebody that really gets my way of life and understands the challenges that we face uniquely as farmers, that they can empathize, and they can also stand up and fight with me if we need to stand up and make our voices heard.
It's comforting to know that you can talk to them, and if they're having a bad day, you can talk to them. If you're having a bad day and you talk to them, they'll make you feel better. And it's people that deal with the same stress that you do. When you can talk to somebody that's your age that's going through the same struggles, it's pretty good therapy.
We know that we can reach out to each other, and it doesn't even have to be about farming. Some of these people have become really close friends, and if their family's struggling, I can pray for them and they can pray for me. But it has also been something that I felt has really empowered me. It's taught me that being a farmer is special, and that it's more than a job. It is our way of life, and that it's something that we need to speak out about. We need to tell our story. Farm Bureau's taught me that that's important.
The Farm Bureau family truly exists. No matter where I travel in this state, if I have an issue, if I break down or have a flat tire or couldn't get help, I could pull out my rosters of our Farm Bureau leaders, and I know that no matter where I was, I could call one and they would be there to assist me. We pull together in times of need, so whether you're staff or volunteer leader, Farm Bureau member, we're there for each other.
Farm Bureau is the heart of rural Louisiana, rural America. It exemplifies everything that's real and is surrounded in faith and friendship and family. Once you become in the Farm Bureau family, you have a home throughout the state, year in and year out.
I'm a mother.
I'm a dad.
I'm a grandfather.
I'm a farm wife.
I'm a husband.
I'm a first-generation farmer.
I'm a cattleman.
I'm a cowgirl.
I'm a rice farmer.
I am a young farmer.
I am a teacher.
I'm still learning.
I'm an advocate for agriculture.
I love raising my family on the farm. I am Farm Bureau.
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 We are the Farm Bureau family.